Hello friends, welcome back to another video. It's Jam here, and this time we'll be looking up Skyfang Brigade, one of the decks debuting in the Deck Savers pack, or whatever, it's Deck Dark Savers pack thing in OCG, and I think hopefully we're getting this soon, and it's quite an interesting deck as it's similar to, I would say, the artwork is similar to your Senjus, where all of the creatures are animal looking, so I'm guessing there's like a furry bait sort of deck, as opposed to the Weeb Trash deck, which is the Infinite Stratos sort of look-alike in the same set. And it's an interesting swarm deck where they can all special summon each other from the hand. Now the main pilot of the deck is probably the level 3 Earth Warrior Beat. That means you should run more Rota in this deck, definitely. It's basically the DNAB or the Stratos of the deck, but it works really differently because it only works if you special summon another Skyfang Brigade monster, and that synergizes with its own effect, which is, they all have this effect except the level 5 or higher ones where you can spec one from hand, and it's a hard once per turn for that effect. Now you should definitely run 3 of the beat guy, and the other ratios I'm not quite sure. I would run a lot of the low level ones because the low level ones lets you swarm the field even quicker. Now the level 2 ones, it reminds me a lot of the Atlanteans from the Mermail deck. One of them pop set cards, one of them pop face up cards when you special summon another Skyfang Brigade monster. And the artwork of the Skyfang Brigades, as I said, it's already like anthropomorphic animals where they look like zodiacs, I don't know, or just Senjus. But they have weapons and armor as well, so it's quite interesting. Which one is it? The Beat reminds me of like a male version of Nanachi from Made in Abyss, which is quite interesting. The other one is like reptile, beast, they're all different types as well. There's an aqua one, Helmer, which is the guy who's supposed to be manning the what's it? Because they sort of live in like a pirate ship, like a flying. I like the lore of this. I'm just gonna guess what happens. I'm guessing they're like a crew who flies in a freaking flying pirate ship or something into some fancy world, and it's sort of just like, I don't know. Now the main issue I have with this deck is that the field spell is not so great, as it's a search on the draw phase, and you miss out a draw card as well off the draw phase if you use the effect to search any Skyfang Brigade card, which is very slow for today's conventions of all field spells. For example, like Diagram Trick style field spell, Subterra field spell, Spiral field spell, even or even Dragon's Ravine, which is sort of like an old school field spell. That field spell is too slow, so I don't know, maybe the biggest problem with the deck is the field spell, but otherwise it's a solid deck. It's a level 4 Dark Beast Warrior, which is Seal. What it does is it grabs back one Skyfang Brigade monster from grave to the hand. That's very useful midway through a game, because if you use this effect you can swarm even more because you grab one from grave if you spec, and then with this effect you can spec another one from your hand, or the effect of the card that you summon from your hand to get this effect to go off. Now half the test games I had, I wasn't running the last announced spell that they get, which is basically Return to the Front, but it's a quick play spell and it's hard once per turn. That card's pretty much staple 2 or 3 off in the deck in my opinion, because beforehand I was running Back to the Front and the other trap card, which is a continuous one, which is not as good, it's too slow. Back to the Front was much better than that card, so that means that this quick play one is much better. It specs in defense position, which is not good for OTKs, but you're supposed to set it and then use it on your opponent's turn, so you get an extra surge, an extra pop, an extra salvage from the grave, to utilize the effects of hard ones per turn on your opponent's turn instead. And my favorite card in this deck is probably Lafarl, which is the level 8 light dragon one. It doesn't have a swarming effect to let you spec for from hand, but it's pretty big. It's 2/8 attack. What it does is excavate top cards of your deck equal to the amount of other names of Skyfang Brigade members you've got, and you can grab any card from those selections. So turn 1 is usually get 1 or 2, and then you look at top 2 or 3. Sometimes 1, but that's okay. You get the top card of your deck, basically draw a card, and you grab 1 card from that, which is really good. You can probably go grab like a Desires, like a Soul Charge, which Soul Charge is really busted in this deck. Monster Reborn, Judgment, like all these trap cards, or hand traps even, Ash, etc. Your opponent knows you've got it, but if you've got it, they can't really do anything about it sometimes. And his second effect, which is really good, they can discard a Skyfang Brigade card and negate an activation of monster's effect, so that's really good against hand traps, etc., like Ash, Ogre and stuff. And the nice thing about this deck is you can chain link the Aldra as many times as whatever order you want. So if you really want to dodge something like Ogre, you can chain link Lafarl as 1, and then like something you don't really care about, so it's chain link 2, etc. So you can dodge certain stuff in this deck, which is quite useful and very handy at times. And they got a bunch of other high level ones. I like the Wiz one. I would run 1 or 2 maybe. It's on some effects not so useful, but it's kind of handy maybe. You gain life points by 500 equal to the amount of other Skyfang members you've got. That could be useful if you use strikes and stuff, because you can gain life points so you can use them again. There was one duel where I had less than 1500, so I just had to use it, and so I can use the strike that was in my hand. Now its other useful effect is that it can negate spell and trap cards by sending a Skyfang Brigade, similar to Lafarl, but instead of monster effects you negate spell and trap cards. So that's very good against failed clears like Raigeki and stuff like that. And that's probably the main reason why you would run this card, and it's also got pretty big defense, so it's quite useful. Now as it's a swarm deck, it's also a single summon deck, so if your first summon gets negated or like stopped or destroyed, etc., the deck's probably going to fail for like a turn. You lose the whole turn pretty much. Reminds me a bit of Magic Bullets or your Senjus. If you lose the first summon, you lose the turn pretty much. That's why maybe running a bit more back row is useful in this deck. The other ones, the high levels, they're not so good. They just protect your Skyfang Brigades from dying or being targeted or being attacked. It's very situational, so I don't think it's that useful. The burn damage guy, maybe if you're playing in time. The deck has a lot of attributes, a lot of types, so side deck cards like Rivalry, Warlord, some people main deck that and goes and match will ruin this deck. And they also have no extra deck cards, so you'll have to probably rely on other stuff, probably Troy Mares or something for removal. They don't really have much options main deck wise. I'm not quite sure what's a good sort of flexible main deck stuff that you have to run. Look, there's like a deck skeleton already, and then I pretty much run what the deck skeleton is, which is like Ash, Desires, etc. And I just put in all the Skyfang Brigades, and it somehow works quite nicely. And yeah, that's the Skyfang Brigade.